Today we're going to talk about some unit conversions. Let's say I want to convert 4 miles into inches. I know a lot of people say, oh, well, you just multiply. Let's just do some multiplying. Let's just do some dividing. But the problem is that a lot of people don't know if you're supposed to multiply or divide, and they just kind of guess. And it's kind of easy on something when you're going from miles to inches because you know you should end up with a very, very large number of inches. But when you're converting from dollars to pounds or euros, like sometimes that's a little bit more confusing whether you're multiplying or dividing. So let's talk about when you do what. So I'm going to start out with 4 miles, and I'm going to put this as a fraction. I'm going to write it over 1. Any number can be written as a fraction, you just put it over 1. Now, when I want to do a conversion, if I have miles on top, then that means that I need to put the same thing on bottom so that I can convert it. The labels will cancel out. So I'll put miles down here. Now, I don't know how many inches are in a mile, but I do know how many feet are in a mile. So I've got miles and miles. Those will cancel. And then I know that there's 1 mile equals 5,280 feet. Therefore, I'll put 5280 up here with my feet label, and I'll put 1 down here with my miles label. This cancels the miles, and what I have left now is feet. I'm trying to get to inches, though, so I probably better keep going. If feet is on top up here, then what needs to happen is I need to have feet on bottom down there. If you have something on top that you want to cancel, you got to have the same thing on bottom. So I'll put feet down here, and I'll put inches up on top. Now, I also know that 1 foot is equal to 12 inches. So when I think about which goes where, I'm going to put the 12 with the inches, and I'll put the 1 with the feet. This allows us to cancel the feet. Feet and feet cancel. And now what I have is if you just multiply straight across the top, so 4 times 5280 times 12, and this is a calculator problem. You could do this by hand, but I'm going to save a little bit of time. And that comes out to be then, let's see, 253,440. And if you look at this, the only label that's left is inches. Now, if you look on bottom, 1 times 1 times 1 is over 1. We don't have to actually do any dividing. We're done. Notice all the labels are canceled except for inches. That means that 4 miles is equal to 253,440 inches. Okay, we're going to do 2 more examples here today. Now we have a rate, 27 inches per second into miles per hour. Now, you have to first understand what the per means. That's that dividing sign, right? 27 inches for every 1 second. That's what that means. And so I'm not going to write it like IPS and MPH. No, we don't do that. We say 27 inches per 1 second. And ultimately, we want to turn this into miles per hour. That's what we're going to try to get to. So we'll start out, I'm going to get rid of these inches first. If inches is on top, then for my conversion, inches must be on bottom. So I'll put inches down here. I don't know how many inches are in a mile, but I do know how many inches are in a foot, right? So I put 12 next to the inches and 1 next to the feet. Now, my inches cancel, and what I have is feet per second. I got to keep going. Feet is on top, so for my conversion, I put feet on bottom, right? That's because these two have to be the same, right? Wow, thanks, OneDrive. Appreciate you jumping up there. Next, I know how many feet are in a mile. So that's here. So we've got feet, miles. Okay, so there's 5,280 feet in 1 mile. Okay, we're looking pretty good. We wanted to get to miles. We got to miles. But notice that when we cancel those, What I have now is miles per second. That's not what I want. I want to get miles per hour. So now I'm going to look at this and say, all right, I see seconds is on bottom. Therefore, to cancel, I've got to put seconds on top. Now, some of you know how many seconds are in an hour. It's 3,600, but let's just say that you don't. So I do know seconds and minutes. There are 60 seconds in 1 minute. Okay. Now, the last one that we're going to look at here is I've got minutes, but that's not what I want. I want to get to hours. So if minutes is on bottom, for my conversion, I've got to have minutes on top. So minutes goes up here, and then hours goes down here. 60 minutes and 1 hour. Now you go through and you multiply everything across the top. Notice that the only label that's left, look, minutes and minutes is gone. Seconds and seconds is gone. The only label that is left here on the top is miles, and the only label left on the bottom is hours. Okay, so we're going to multiply 27 times 60 times 60. We do that and I get 97,200. Then, and that's 97,200 miles. On bottom, I'm going to take 1 times 12 times 5280 times 1 times 1. That gets me 63,360. And that's 63,360 hours. So what we do is we divide those two numbers now. 97,200 divided by 63,360. And that comes out to be 1.534 miles per hour. You can write it MPH in your answer if you want, but you would really think about this as 1.534 miles per 1 hour. Okay? All right, let's look at, and again, that's the same thing as 1.534 mph. I didn't worry about significant figures here. This is just working on unit conversions. For significant figures, that's a different video. You may want to think about checking out Khan Academy. All right, 43 meters per minute into miles per hour, and we're given this conversion. 1,609 meters equals 1 mile. So I'm going to start out by writing 43 meters per 1 minute. And I'm going to start out trying to get rid of these meters. If I have meters here, then I'm going to put meters down here. And I've got to know, do I have a conversion to go from meters to miles? I do. It's given in the problem. So those will cancel. I'm going to put 1609. Does that go on top or bottom? Oh, 1609 is with the M. So 1609 must go with meters. Then I have 1 mile. So those will cancel. And then I've got what I have is miles per minute, but I want miles per hour. So therefore, I've got to do another conversion. If I have minutes on bottom, then minutes has to go on top here. So I'll do minutes, and then I'll do hours. There are 60 minutes in 1 hour. And then I can go through and do some canceling and say, look, minutes is gone, minutes is gone. Now I just multiply straight across the top. And I've got 43 times 60 gets me 2,580 miles. And on bottom, I've got 1 times 1609 times 1 hours. Now that answer isn't all that great because it's really hard to understand. So if I actually divide those out, then what I get is about 1.6 miles per hour. And at this point, if you want to write it as MPH, that's just fine. You get 1.60348, etc. Okay, so you got to pay attention to your labels for your conversions. This is true whether you're doing distance, whether you're doing money, whether you're doing time, any conversion, you've got, if you want to convert it, you're going to have something on top and something on bottom to convert it with. All right, good luck.